Ladies and gentlemen, AMC stock is up about 6% today, and I do think this is the start of potentially a major rally. Why is this? Well, there's a lot of different factors I want to talk about here in this video, and if you guys have been in this trade for a while, you guys might think I'm just feeding you guys hopium or whatever the case is. This is not based off of nothing. This is based off of my personal beliefs. This is based off of data. I'm not asking you guys to believe me, but if you want my logic, it will be provided to you guys here in this video. Yes, we are going to cover what happened in the markets today with some pretty ominous warnings as well from the World Bank that slashes global growth forecast at 2.9%, warns of 1970s style stagflation. Yes, we're going to cover everything you guys need to know about the broad markets here in this video, but mainly focus on why I think AMC stock might just go parabolic here in the short-term future. So, if you guys find value out of this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in. It is a great time to get your financial education on, baby, and get yourself those free stocks with Webull, Moomoo, and Public down below in the description of this video. And if you guys want to trade with me live in real time, link down below in the pinned comment to do so for that one. So, getting straight into this video, yes, AMC stock is up about 6.5%, and we've talked about the executive order many times, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but it does play into why I think the stock is going to rally here pretty massively over the next coming days and coming weeks. The executive order went into effect on Friday. Today is currently Tuesday. We expect to see a bigger than normal move for this week, and I do think today possibly is the start, and I do think the next couple of trading days will also be very bullish, but I do just think the overall month of June will be very, very bullish because there is this situation that is currently going on in the marketplace where a lot of stocks have gotten beaten into the ground. A lot of stocks have very high short interest, like AMC. At the same time, liquidity is very, very low. So these stocks that have been shorted into the ground, in one scenario, the markets bounce back, right? The markets start to come back to life. Well, these stocks that have been heavily shorted, they're going to come back to life much faster than your average stock. So if you're thinking about trying to be like net neutral here, and that's what most hedge funds try to do, right? They try to hedge out their positions. Well, if AMC stock, for an example, is up 10% on a day the markets are up 2%, well, you're not really going to make money on that. You would want to cover on your short position, at least so you can start making money on the back end, because if AMC goes up and you have short positions, then you're obviously losing money for the day, right? So there's that situation in the markets where if the markets were to just bounce back, you would want to cover on your short positions because, hey, you're not going to make that much money because AMC is going to outperform to the upside comparatively to the markets. Now, on the other hand, which I think is more likely, the markets continue to fall down. They continue to leg their way down, and it's a slow and steady bleed out, where at the same time, the cost to borrow rates for AMC is about 20% for the cost to borrow max. So you're getting destroyed and eaten alive by that cost to borrow rate that is usually paid out on a monthly or quarterly basis. And essentially, it's not even worth being in a short position at the current moment. Now, you have external things going on, like the executive order, which has really taken away a lot of collateral that these hedge funds can use for servicing these short positions and for servicing margin calls. So I think that is a very big deal. At the same time, you still have the retail activity that is very, very high in the marketplace. Retail investors have not left the markets. They continue to buy more stocks now than they have over the last 2 years, and that is a fact. We know that with 100% certainty, and that is reflected in the option activity. There's massive amounts of option activity for AMC stock, for a lot of other retail stocks, but specifically for AMC stock. And if you guys actually look at the Stonko tracker data, and we go ahead and refresh this page, for June 17th, you're looking at almost 300,000 calls that are out of the money, 9,200 calls that are currently in the money. And for July 15th, about 352,000 calls that are out of the money, 8,000 calls that are currently in the money. So a lot of option activity, on the put side as well, which could add to a lot of potential buying power from the market makers if the price of the stock does go up. So you have that working for us. You have shorts that have been in their short positions for a very long time. So like I said, that cost to borrow rate is really starting to eat them alive. At the same time, the short interest is very, very high at over 23.5%. 6%. So what does this mean? Well, any small minor potential catalyst is going to be a big deal for AMC stock, and once those shorts really start to cover on their short positions and drive the price of the stock up, say over 15, over $20 per share, it's going to put a lot more pressure on those other shorts that are currently still in their AMC short positions. And if you guys have not seen the video from earlier that I did post, you essentially have the SEC that is trying to change the way the markets are run, essentially how orders are filled, how, essentially trying to get rid of payment for order flow. Now, that's a pretty big deal because that's what happened last time around, essentially why the buy button had gotten disabled. And I think it goes without saying how big of a deal it would be to get rid of payment for order flow for another big rally, potentially a MOAS-like event for AMC stock. So when you add all of that together, not just one factor, but multiple different factors, I think here in the short-term future, we are going to be rewarded very nicely for, remaining in these positions. Now, I could be wrong. I could be right. It's not really, I don't really know which way it's going to go, but that's why I continue to hold my AMC shares. That's why I continue to talk about AMC here on this channel, because I think there's a massive opportunity just waiting for us right around the corner, and that is my wholehearted belief. Now, let's talk about what happened in the markets today and what you guys need to know. So we did get the balance of trade report, and that was good. That did come in positive, and that's partly why the markets are up. Today, markets are up, NASDAQ almost up 1%. Now, we really don't have any other news coming out until Friday, and then you do have the CPI report, inflation rate year over year, and then you do have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment survey coming out at 9 a.m. 7:30 in the morning on Friday. That's when you get the inflation report, and that's where you could potentially see another negative move down in the markets. In my personal opinion, even possibly the next couple of days, you could have an overall negative sentiment heading into the CPI report. And I don't think the CPI report is going to be very good, right? So I don't think it's going to be a huge bullish reaction nonetheless, since we have rallied quite a bit from the bottom. I think there's more room to potentially fall here than to rally back to the upside, because things are not okay in the markets. Things are not okay in the economy when it comes down to it. So that's going to be the next big fear catalyst. And that could obviously affect the markets over the next 2-3 trading days here, as people start to expect the CPI and they start to place their bets on what the CPI is going to look like. Now, on the other hand, take a look at this article. Ken Griffin, Citadel Securities, is building a crypto trading arm with the help of Virtue and others. That's exactly what we needed. More manipulation in the crypto market, guys. And Virtue actually started to drop. Virtue stock actually started to drop after this did come out. Obviously, people don't like that. Not at all. So, pretty interesting. Wanted to put that here in this video. Now let's talk about this, because I think this is also very interesting. It says World Bank slashes global growth forecast at 2.9%, warns of 1970s style stagflation. The World Bank slashed its global growth forecast on Tuesday to 2.9% for 2022. The bank warned that the economy could slip into a period of stagflation, reminiscent of the 1970s. For many countries, recessions will be hard to avoid, World Bank President David Malpass said. And he goes on to say that global economic expansion is expected to slip to 2.9% this year from 5.7% in 2021, 1.2 percentage points lower than the 4.1% predicted in January. The Washington-based bank said in its latest global economic prospectus report, growth is expected to then hover around that level through 2023 to 2024. When inflation remains above target in most countries, the report said, pointing to stagflationary risk. And that's obviously not what you want to hear. Stagflation, not a good thing. Stagnating growth, high inflation, not good for anything. But I will say, forget all of that. The price of energy and the price of food, those are the two biggest things that are affecting the American economy as of right now. The two biggest things that I am personally concerned with, because those are things that the Fed cannot do anything about, and that is really a huge monumental problem when it comes down to it. So that is that, and it did seem like it affected the markets when it first came out. And you also had this: Target expects squeeze profits from aggressive plan to get rid of unwanted inventory. So you're definitely seeing some good and some bad today overall. Elon Musk Twitter deal threatens put new financing on ice. Sources say actually pretty positive thing for Tesla, and Tesla stock did go up on that. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Nothing that is too crazy that is like, you know, rip the markets up 2 to 3% or drop the markets 2 to 3%. Nothing, you know, substantial in that realm, but I do think the CPI report will be the next big catalyst, and that could potentially be one of those 2 to 3% up or 2 to 3% down kind of days. Now, unfortunately, Ortex, my Ortex data, the Ortex platform, it went to renew, and my card had just expired the day of renewing with Ortex. So I'm gotta contact Ortex because it's not letting the payment go through. I did get a new card, but nonetheless, it says from this screenshot here today, that's the best we got to work with. The Ortex estimated short interest of free float, 23.37%. The value of shares that are sold short in AMC stock is currently sitting at about $1.44 billion worth. So that is quite a lot of money potentially transferring into our brokerage accounts. That's a pretty cool way to kind of put it once the short interest actually does go to zero, once the MOS actually does happen. Now the free float out on loan continues to go up, and that is at 35.28%. The shares out on loan continue to rally as well at 181.85 million. 7 days ago was at 175 million shares, so increased the shares out on loan by about 6 million. So that's definitely a pretty substantial amount. And these are shares that could be used against us or potentially be returned, and that could be a very bullish thing at the same time. Now, it says the days to cover is sitting at 3.5, and the cost to borrow is jumping up about 77% over the past 7 days, now sitting at about 5.73%, and that's the cost to borrow minimum, it does look like. So that is very bullish. 7 days change of 77.48%. Quite substantial. 100% utilization. That has pretty much been that way for multiple months in a row now. So looking pretty bullish, and I'm trying my best. We're gonna see if Ortex gets back to me today, so we can get the Ortex data and we can go over this for ourselves, go over the option activity by tomorrow. But today it is just not possible. Ortex has not gotten back to me as of yet. Now, AMC stock still up about 5.5%. If we do take a look at where we are currently at on a technical basis, we're flirting around this $13 level. This level that I want to stay above, so I want to see a close above 13. We'll see if we can. There's still a little bit of time left in trading, and if we can break above 13, that's going to be a very bullish thing. Or over the next couple of trading days here, that will also be very, very good. The volume has been low. We're sitting at 26 million shares that have traded hands today, and we're up 5.5%. That is a very good sign in my personal opinion. Once volume comes back into the stock, once we even see the volume that we've seen like we did back here, 100 million shares, even 75 million shares that trade hands on a day, then you could be looking at 10, 15, 20% positive days. And that's kind of what I'm expecting, at least at some point throughout this week. Now, the RSI is trading at 46.08, so that is under the neutral level of 50. So on the oversold side, the MACD is still bullish, which is very surprising. We've been just steadily bullish for a decent amount of time, really since about May 24th. We've went up a lot, we've came down a lot, but the MACD remains to be bullish. So I think that's a pretty good sign. The key levels we really have to break out above is the 50 and 100-day moving averages. 50-day moving average is at $16.14 per share. 100-day moving average at $16.68 per share. So I think those are the big levels that we really have to break out above, and we'll see. I do think the technicals look good. I think everything really looks good for a rally here in the next couple of weeks with AMC stock. So that is basically it. That's all you guys need to know for the markets for today. What is going on with AMC stock? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, source comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Get your free stocks with Webull, Moomoo, and Public. And if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the pinned comment. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.